Thank you very much. What a group of people. We love this group. You voted for me. They never had a chance in Pennsylvania. They never even had a chance. But I'm thrilled to be back in this beautiful Commonwealth at the legendary Mon Valley Works urban plant, with the proud Pennsylvania patriots who are the heart and soul of U.S. Steel. Thank you very much. That's great. Oh, you're going to be happy. You're going to be happy. There's a lot of money coming your way. It's a lot of money. You're going to say, please, sir, we don't want this kind of success. It's too much, sir. We can't take. Please, we beg you, we don't want this much success. But we do, really, don't we? We're going to be so successful. You have just started. You're going to watch. We're here today to celebrate a blockbuster agreement that will ensure this storied American company stays an American company. You're going to stay an American company. You know that, right? But we're going to have a great partner. We're going to have a great partner. And I have to tell you, Japan has been a tremendous friend of mine during my years as president. And then we had a little hiatus. We had a rigged election. But then we won, and we said, let's make it too big to rig, and they made it too big to rig. And this is a much more powerful term than we could have ever had the other way. So a lot of things, God was looking down on us all for a lot of reasons, including right there. A lot of reasons we were blessed, and you're going to be blessed. You're going to see that. It will keep its headquarters in the great city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where it belongs. For generations, the name United States Steel was synonymous with greatness, and now it will again be synonymous with greatness. That's what it's going to be. The best and strongest steel on earth will forever be made in America and made in Pennsylvania. And I want to thank a man that I saw right at the beginning of this whole thing, during my first term, as we call it, U.S. Steel President Dave Barrett. Dave, thank you very much, wherever you may be. Wherever you may be. Thank you, Dave. And he came to the White House and he said, sir, we're in trouble. We need help. He was put there to save the company, right? I remember it so well, like yesterday. He was put there. They hired him to save the company. And he came up and he said, we need help, sir. I said, what can we do? Because all the steel companies were going south. They were all in trouble. He said, if you could get tariffs, sir, and save this company. And I thought about it. I studied it up real quick. It took me about 2 minutes. And I said, Dave, I think we're going to make you very happy. And we did make you happy, didn't we? We saved the company. We put 25% tariffs on your company. So we had protection. We were protected from outside horrible influence, including dumping, where they were dumping steel all over the United States, and we saved it. It was a great honor, and Dave was really the first one that brought it to my attention, and I appreciate it, Dave. You did a good job. You did a good job. He more than saved the company. He made the company great. This will be a great company in a very short period of time. Also, the vice chairman of Nippon Steel, Takahiro Mori. Takahiro, thank you very much. He's a great guy, highly respected. He's highly respected all over the world for what he's done with steel. He's going to make this is going to be his pet project. It's going to be great. Thank you, Takahiro. Appreciate it. We're also pleased to be joined by a man who's done a fantastic job. He's central. I always say he's central casting. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Where is Scott? Central casting. Thanks, Scott. We had a good report today. I don't know if you saw. The numbers were through the roof and there was no inflation. And they said, you know, Trump was right again. They were all saying, oh, inflation, inflation. We're taking in billions and billions of dollars in tariffs and other things. And we're keeping our competitive nations, we're keeping them, they're competitors, and we're keeping them totally at bay. And we right now have the hottest nation anywhere in the world. And 6 months ago, we had a nation that was dying. We had a nation that was cold as ice. And now we have the hottest, most talked about nation anywhere in the world. anywhere. Good job, Scott. Also, Secretary of Labor, Lori Chavez DeReamer. Lori, thank you very much. Highly recommended by the Teamsters and a couple of others, I have to tell you. And I said, I'll take that. I'll take that. But she's been fantastic. Also, we have some incredible congressmen and women. Mike Kelly, where's Mike? Mike, he's wearing a shirt today. A lot of times he doesn't. If it's cold, he doesn't wear shirts. Thank you, Mike. Dan Muser, who I hear is going to maybe be running for governor. That's what I hear. I hear there's a rumor about that. There's a rumor about that. Another man, good luck with that, Dan. I'll tell you, if that's your decision, you've got my support. You know that, right? If you run, you've got my support. He's been, Guy, don't you think he's been a great congressman? He's been a great congressman. And if you run, you have my support totally, and you'll win. You'll win. The people are going to get it real fast. Thank you very much. Good luck. Guy Reschenthaler, who is a fantastic person, with a very good friend of mine today, and I appreciate you coming together. And Guy, thank you very much. What a job you've done from the beginning, right? We never had a problem from day one, you and I. So thank you very much, Guy. Great job. Mike Ruley. You know Mike? Where's Mike? Mike? Thank you, Mike. Great job you're doing. Thank you. Really, really good. And another friend of mine, a great hockey player, actually, Pete Stauber. Pete, thank you. What a great hockey player. He was the real deal, right, Pete? He'll even admit it. He's going to admit it. Pennsylvania Senate President Pro Tem Kim Ward. Thank you. Good job, Kim. Good job. Thank you. A woman who's an incredible writer, actually. She understands what they call the Rust Belt. We won't be able to call this section a Rust Belt anymore. It'll be a golden belt. It'll be a golden dome, right? It'll be part of a golden dome that we're building to save everybody's lives. But this is a woman who's really fantastic. She's a brilliant writer. She just got signed up by, of all groups, the Washington Post. That's big time. Selena Zito. Where's Selena? She's around here. Selena, thank you. She understands you people and me better than we do. She understands us, and she got it right from the beginning with Trump, didn't you, Selena? She said right early on, guess what? He's going to win. That was when people were saying, really, is he running? He's only doing this for fun. She said, no, he's going to win. And I wouldn't say it's fun, but boy, are we doing progress, right? We're making big progress. So you have a couple of people here that I wanted to introduce because, you know, being a guy that's watched a lot of football, this man had tremendous courage. He had a lot of grit. And everybody knows he wasn't the largest person on the field at all, but he was, in many ways, the most courageous. Rocky Bleier. Rocky. Come up here, Rocky. Come up here. Come up here, Rocky. Come up here, Rocky. He's such a great heart. Come on up here, Rocky. Wow. And two other people I want to bring up because I'm a fan of your Steelers. And I happen to think a really good quarterback is a man named Mason Rudolph. And I think he's going to get a big shot. He's tall, he's handsome, got a great arm. And I have a feeling he's going to be the guy. So Mason Rudolph, come up here. And also a safety who's an absolute killer, Miles Killebrew. Do you know Miles? Come on up here, Miles. Come on up here, fella. What a team, huh?
There you go. Mr. President, on behalf of U.S. Steel and to the people of Pittsburgh, more importantly, though, to all the Steeler fans that are here this evening, I have the honor of making you an honorary Pittsburgh Steeler and would like to present to you your jersey as With the number 47 as the 47th President of the United States, a number that hangs in the National Football League Hall of Fame, I'd like to present to a Hall of Fame President. Please accept it.
Listen, I'm honored to be here with a great Steeler legend like Rocky Bleier, somebody who fought for our country in Vietnam and came back and played some great football with the black and gold. Awesome to be here, a part of this big investment in Pittsburgh. Go Steelers.
How about this president of ours, huh? Just wanted to say God bless you, President Trump, and God bless you, Pittsburgh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. It's a great group of people. And he did have a lot of courage, didn't he? Not that big. He's like up there. I said, Rocky, I've had you up to here. But boy, does he have a heart, right? Hearts, it's all about the heart. Also, Senator Dave McCormick, who had a great election victory, and he sends his regards. He's trying to get a certain bill through that's going to give you the largest tax cuts in history, and we got to get it done. So thank you to Dave. He's been great. Perhaps most importantly, let me thank the tough, hardworking members of the United States Steelworkers Local 2227 and the United States Steelworkers Local 1219 and the United States Steelworkers Local 1557. You people are amazing, and look what you've been able to do. Look what you've been able to do. This is a big deal today. This is a big deal. You know, I have to tell you about Nippon. They kept asking me over, and I kept rejecting it. No way, no way, no way. And after about 4 times, I said, you know, these people really want to do a great thing. They really want it. And they're putting up, you know, billions of dollars, and they're going to do this plant and other plants, and it's great, and you're going to have control. You're going to maintain control. And nobody would put up money like that. And every time, Dave, I think you'll say, every time they came in, the deal got better and better and better for the workers, because I didn't give a damn about anybody else, if you want to know the truth. And the rest of them, they'll take care of themselves. But for the workers, and I have no doubt that Nippon and Dave and everybody else, we're all working together, and I'm going to be in Washington. I'm going to be watching over it, and it's going to be great. But there's unbelievable spirit for what you're doing. And I'm telling you, you're going to find out that the great people of Japan, and we love them. You know, Shinzo Abe was my friend. He was a great Prime Minister of Japan. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us. You know what happened with Shinzo. But he was a great friend of mine, an amazing man. And it's an amazing country, and you're going to have a tremendous relationship. So thank you very much. We very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. For more than 124 years, the men and women of U.S. Steel have poured the molten metal and forged the tempered beams that built America's railroads, bridged mighty rivers, and raised up towering skyscrapers like the ones we have in New York. 100 stories high and much higher than that. The city of Pittsburgh used to produce more steel than most entire countries could produce. And it wasn't even close, but our steelworkers know better than anyone. Decades of Washington betrayals and incompetence and stupidity and corruption cost this region over 100,000 steel jobs, and they melted away just like butter melts away. Between the year 2000 and 2016, more than half of all the jobs in Pittsburgh iron and steel mills were obliterated. They were just absolutely taken away. Like you take away candy from a baby. When I came into office 8 years ago, I proclaimed a simple but crucially important principle. If you don't have steel, you don't have a country. You don't have a country. You can't make a military. What are we going to do? Say, let's go to China to get our steel for the army tanks and for the boats and ships. A strong steel industry is not just a matter of dignity or prosperity and pride. It's above all a matter of national security, and it is. You're going to see some amazing things here. That's why I fought for the American steel worker like no president has ever fought before. That's why I won your votes like no president has ever won before. And right from the beginning, it didn't take long. You got it right from the beginning. I think before I even opened my mouth, because even as a private citizen, I used to fight and say, what are you letting all of these countries come in and steal your jobs, bring them to other countries? Why do you let that happen? Not only here, but all over the country. In 2018, I imposed historic tariffs on foreign steel, and the results were amazing. You wouldn't have this plant right now if I didn't put on 25 and 50% tariffs. They were dumping steel, as you know, from China and from all over the world. They were dumping it all over our country, dumping it. And it was bad steel, it was garbage, but it was steel, and it was cheap as hell, and it was a terrible thing. And you wouldn't have had any steel mills. I don't think, Dave, they'd have a steel mill open in the country if we didn't do the tariffs. And it was just in time. It was just in time. They were closing up as fast as you can count. In a few short years, domestic steel production surged by more than 10 million tons. Imports from your foreign competitors dropped by 24% almost immediately. And more than $15 billion of investment poured into American steel throughout the United States, all because you had a president who stood up for our steel workers and put America first. I'm very proud of that one. Stood up for everyone else, too. But then came 4 calamitous years of a president who obviously wasn't doing the job. I'm trying to be nice, so you know I have to be nice. But what he did to this country is a disgrace. Between the borders, millions and millions of people pouring through our borders from all countries all over the world. They came from the jails of the Congo. They came from all over South America, prisons, gangs, drug dealers, drug merchants. They came from mental institutions, the mentally insane. They were pouring into our country by the millions. They allowed this to happen to our country. But we're moving them out, or we're moving them out faster. We're bringing them back to where they came from. We're having a lot of problems with the liberal judges in courts, the radical left crazy judges that, you know, they come in without courts. They pour into our country totally unvetted and unchecked. Nobody checked them. Nobody had any idea who they were. 11,888 of them were murderers. 50% of those over 11,000 people that were murderers, 50% murdered more than one person. And these people were allowed to come into our country by the Democrats, and you can never forget what they've done. And it's we've beaten inflation. Look at what we've done. Look at the numbers that came out. The prosperity, everything is good. First time ever, right track, wrong track. We're on a right track. First time in 28 years. But they allowed that to happen. I built almost 700 miles of wall. If we didn't have the wall, we could have never done what we did. Over 700 miles, but still they came because they didn't want to finish. They didn't want to close up any gap, the gaps that we had to keep so that we could get our equipment out, so we could get through. They didn't want to put up the final stages. It would have taken 3 weeks to put up the final stages. They said, no, we don't want the wall built. And I thought they were kidding, but they weren't. They wanted open borders, and what they let into our country can never be forgotten. The last administration granted tens of thousands of job-killing tariff exemptions to your foreign competitors. So they were afraid to take down the tariffs that I imposed because it was so good for our country, so much money. But what they did do, think of this, they gave exemptions, and they were so broad and so deep. And I guess you saw that, but the exemptions that they gave allowed foreign competitors to come in and steal our industry, steal our jobs, and bring them back home, and bring them home by the boatload, crippling imports of foreign steel, skyrocketed over the last 4 years like you have never seen before by over 30%. That's an incredible, crazy number. And imports of steel and rebar from Mexico exploded by more than 1,000%. We were getting our steel from Mexico. We were getting our steel from Canada. We were getting our steel from every place, but right here, it was then that we announced the crown jewel of our steel industry, U.S. Steel, was being sold into foreign hands with no protections for our great steel workers. And I said, there's no way we're going to let that happen. When I was watching over you, you don't even know it, I was watching over you. Tell you, best people. You're the best people. You built this country. You know, you people built this country. You people and others like you built this country. By the time I came into office, many feared that the Mon Valley would lose up to 3,000 steel jobs, that U.S. Steel would close, and it was a fixture of the Pittsburgh skyline. It may never live for another week. We had times we thought we were going to live. You weren't living for another week. But I promised the people of Western Pennsylvania that I would never, ever let that happen. And as president, I kept that promise. Boy, did I keep that promise. So soon after initially taking office, I imposed powerful 25% tariffs on all foreign steel and ended each and every one of the Biden exceptions and exclusions. And today I have a major announcement. And are you ready to hear this? This is on behalf of Scott, Secretary of Treasury, Howard Lutnick, Secretary of Commerce, and all of the great geniuses and people we have working, and they are smart, but I don't think you'd be a good steel worker, Scott. I'm sorry. We're going to have to put a little more muscle content into that guy. But he's great. He's great at what he does. We are going to be imposing a 25% increase. We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%, the tariffs on steel into the United States of America, which will even further secure the steel industry in the United States. Nobody's going to get around that. So we're bringing it up from 25%. We're doubling it to 50%. And that's a loophole. And by the way, I have to tell you, I believe that this group of people that just made these investments right now are very happy, because that means that nobody's going to be able to steal your industry. It's at 25%, they can sort of get over that fence. At 50%, they can no longer get over the fence. So congratulations to everybody and to you for making a great deal. You just made a better deal, right? I said to the group, would you rather have a 40% increase? Because I was thinking about 40 when I came. I said, would you rather have a 40% or a 50%? They said, we'll take 50. I said, I had a feeling you were going to say that. So congratulations. Also, congratulations to Dave, because you got this whole thing started. Congratulations. Great job. Great job. The people here understand the word tariff, and you understand it better than the people on Wall Street. But now the people on Wall Street are finding out. They're saying, wow, you know, Trump was right. You saw today, they had an announcer, Joe Kiernan, CNBC, Maria Bartiromo, who's so fantastic on Fox Business. And they were saying, you know, Trump was right. Look at these numbers. The numbers got released today at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it showed no inflation and tremendous income jumps for workers and for the people of our country. And they go, wow, he was right. He was right. But you knew that. You knew that before Wall Street. The workers knew that. We don't want America's future to be built with shoddy steel from Shanghai. We want it built with the strength and the pride of Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh steel, it's U.S. steel, and it's going to be something even more special when you get all that billions of dollars of new equipment that they're going to be investing right here. Billions and billions of dollars. Since I imposed our steel tariffs, and you know, I said that tariff to me is the most beautiful word in the dictionary. I love the word so much. I've always loved it. For 40 years, I've loved it. For 40 years, I didn't understand why people weren't in this country using tariffs. They use tariffs to kill us. They use tariffs to take our businesses, not only steal, other businesses too. And we never knew how to use tariffs back because we had people in the White House that either didn't care or weren't very smart or both. And it really starts with the White House. It's very simple. It starts with the White House. But I said, it's my favorite word in the dictionary, the word tariff. And I got slaughtered in the fake news. I got killed. They said, what about love? What about wife and family? What about God, they said. So they made the word tariff be my fourth favorite word. And now I have no complications. It's my fourth favorite word. God, wife, family, all of the different things, but they did. It's not even believable. I said, tariffs is my favorite word, and I got slaughtered by these people. But we've had a lot of fun. We've jousted for a long time with the fake news. But companies all over the world have announced nearly $10 billion in new investments in steel, just in steel alone. But the Nippon investment we're announcing today blows them all away with a record-setting, and this was just heard of. We just came out a little while ago. $14 billion commitment to the future of this company. That is the single largest investment. That's the single largest investment of any kind in any industry. So not only steel, go all the way back. You go into fracking, you go into anything you want to go into because you're a good fracking state too. We love fracking, by the way. But think of this, the largest investment of any kind in the history of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And we also will be the largest investment in the history of American steel industry. There's never been a $14 billion investment in the history of the steel industry in the United States of America. And Pittsburgh will very soon be respected around the world as the Steel City again. So I want to congratulate you. As part of this monumental commitment, Nippon will also invest $2.2 billion to increase steel production here in the Mon Valley Works, specifically allocated to Mon Valley, along with $200 million for the Advanced Technology Research and Development Center that's being built already in Pennsylvania. So I want to congratulate you. And in addition, another $7 billion to modernize steel mills, expand ore mines, and build state-of-the-art facilities in Indiana, Minnesota, Alabama, and Arkansas. So I want to thank you and congratulations to those states. Congratulations. And the bulk of these expenditures will be made in the next 14 months. It's going to happen fast. You're going to be very busy watching trucks go back and forth, loaded up with cash, or its equivalent. And it will create and save over 100,000 American jobs, including 14,000 jobs in Pennsylvania. Thank you. Very good. And by the way, your local union, I won't talk about your national union because I don't think he knows what the hell he's talking about. But your local union, I want to tell you, is so unbelievable. They've been great. I have to tell you that. This is an incredible deal for American steelworkers, and it includes vital protections to ensure that all steelworkers will keep their jobs and all facilities in the United States will remain open and thriving.
He's on fire!
U.S. Steel will maintain. I don't want to fight with those guys. They look pretty. I'll never fight them. U.S. Steel will maintain all of its current operating blast furnaces at full capacity for a minimum of the next 10 years. And we have that as a commitment. But I don't even think that's I don't even think you have to worry about that. You're not going to have to even think about that. Frankly, it won't matter because they're going to be here for a long time, a lot longer than that. There will be no layoffs and no outsourcing whatsoever. And every U.S. steel worker will soon receive a well-deserved $5,000 bonus. That's very rare. Thank you very much. That's great. That's importantly. For what you've gone through a lot. It's closing, it's not closing, it's opening, and you want to stay here. People say, well, we'll move to another place, or we'll do chips, or we'll do something like chips. Somehow you don't want to do chips. I'm looking at these giant guys with the giant arms. You're not going to like doing chips. Most importantly, U.S. Steel will continue to be controlled by the USA. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done the deal. I wouldn't have done it. But the USA, and we're going to be working together, and you're going to look at your board. You have a great board, and we're going to have an amazing alliance. In this audience are many of the incredible workers who will really be bringing our steel industry roaring back to life, and it's going to roar, including a man who has supported me from the very beginning, the founder and steelworker of Steelworkers for Trump in this area. I have some of these guys, they're great. And I had somebody in Michigan that was so great. I love that guy. And I love this guy. He's been with me from the beginning. Brian Pavlik. Brian, come up here. Come up here, Brian. Brian's been with us from the beginning. Oh, look at him, big guy. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
It's a great day to be an American steelworker. It's an honor to be on the stage with my hero and the greatest president ever, Donald J. Trump. Hello, my name's Brian Pavlik. I'm a third-generation steelworker and the president and founder of Steelworkers for Trump. The attempted assassination of then-president candidate Donald J. Trump prompted me to establish Steelworkers for Trump. Our membership now exists at 2.5K. In my opinion, President Trump has demonstrated remarkable support for the American steel industry, surpassing the collective efforts of all other presidents combined. Through tariffs, he has fought to keep steel being made in America rather than being dumped onto us by China. Through this deal, he has fought to keep us billions of dollars in investments that will secure jobs for generations to come. Thank you, President Trump, for your commitment to revitalizing the American steel industry and restoring its greatness and in making American steel great again.
Thank you, Brian. Great guy. And he was with me right from the beginning, I think, Brian, right from day one, and I appreciate it. We won't forget it either. So let me also bring up real fast a few guys that I met backstage that I was very impressed with. Jack, Jason, Scott, Donald, and Kurt. Come on up here, fellas. Get up here. Come on up here. These guys are great. Come on. They're happy people. Thank you. Want to say a couple of words? Go ahead, say a couple of words. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not prepared, but I can tell you I would rather be nowhere than where I am today with all of my U.S. Steel family, friends, and everybody that I love. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Berg. Thank you, Mr. Maury, and most of all, thank you, Donald J. Trump.
We did it.
I want to thank everyone for coming. Today is a great day. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jason Zugaj. I'm the former president, current vice president of Local 2227, and I've worked at this great plant for 28 years. I'm a third-generation steel worker working for U.S. Steel, and by the way, I'm damn proud of that. So, when we decided to stand up for the men and women of the Mon Valley, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. Almost every day there were obstacles in our way. At any point we could have chosen to give up, but we are steel workers, and giving up just isn't something we do. These investments will ensure steel will be made right here in Pittsburgh for years to come. And I want to take this time to thank a lot of people that were crucial to getting this partnership to the finish line. First and foremost, I want to thank God for giving me the strength, courage, and wisdom to fight day after day. I want to thank my family for their support. They were always patient with me when I'd be constantly on the phone, night after night, discussing this partnership, talking to politicians, or easing the mind of a union member. I want to thank Jack Maskell. We've been together from the beginning through this. From the many meetings together, DC trips that were nothing but business, to just brainstorming daily. Thank you, my brother. There's no one I'd rather have gone to this fight with. We did it. And I told you how bad I hate to lose. And we won, brother. We won. To the guys from Clairton and ET that fought side by side with us from the beginning, it was an honor, and I'll never forget our journey. I want to thank the local mayors who have stood toe-to-toe with us from the beginning. We greatly appreciate it. Mayor Kelly, thank you. And thank you for your friendship, sir. I want to thank my union brothers and sisters for believing in us and trusting us to get this done. My campaign slogan when I ran for office was, "I will fight for you." I hope that I've proven that to you. It was my honor. Selena Zito, thank you. From the wonderful articles you wrote and the social media posts and everything you have done behind the scenes, you are a rock star. Thank you. Senator Kim Ward, thank you for fighting for us as hard as you did. You were one feisty lady, and I say that with the utmost respect, and we appreciate it. The state of Pennsylvania and your constituents are so proud to have you represent us. Thank you. Chris Hall, just a small-town guy from Chalfont that made it out and wanted to give back to his community. Thank you for your words of wisdom and unwavering support for your community. You did a good thing. Congressman Dan Muser, you took our meeting in DC personally and never wavered after that meeting. You fought for us in public, and that means the world to us. We will never forget your support, and you can count on ours as well. Thank you. Mr. Maury, I love this guy. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our concerns and always making yourself available to answer all of our questions. This man has been disrespected and didn't deserve that. And I feel horrible that that happened to you. We will do everything in our power to see that never happens again. You have my word. These investments are life-changing for all the men and women here today and for our communities. I personally look forward to working with you for years to come. Thank you. I want to thank the men from New York and DC that called me every day. Every day. They gave me advice and guidance through this process. You might have been behind the scenes, but you definitely had a hand in getting this partnership to the finish line. Paul, Curtis, Chris, thank you. U.S. Senator Dave McCormick. I met the senator at a Trump rally in Latrobe before we were both getting ready to speak. He introduced himself to me and asked about the Nippon merger and what I thought about it. Well, as you know, I'm pretty passionate about it, and let him know that. He told me, after I win, you will be my first meeting. I was his first meeting. He kept his promise. He asked all the tough questions during the meeting, and he gathered the facts. We met again last week to touch base, and he took it from there. Without his help, this partnership doesn't get done. Thank you, Senator, from the bottom of my heart. And last but not least, President Trump. What can I say? I never doubted you'd be there for us when we needed you. When our international endorsed Harris, we decided to take a stand for what we believed was right. That was to come out publicly and boldly in support of you. Although we aren't public speakers, we tucked our fears aside and did what any proud American would do. We thank you every day for risking your life and laying it all on the line for this country. I knew you wouldn't let us down, and for that I will be forever grateful. From every steelworker that supports you and every family you saved, I want to say thank you, Mr. President, for making U.S. Steel great again. God bless America. God bless U.S. Steel. Thank you.
So my name is Don German. I am the plant manager for this Urban Works here. I had 35 years with U.S. Steel. I'm a first-generation U.S. Steel worker. It is an honor to host you, Mr. President, today. And let me tell you, it was a lot of work, but it was well worth it. I will always tell people that, you know, it is for the workers that are out on this floor. It is for our families that are out here who support us. It is for the community members in our community and our state and our country. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Good afternoon. As you know me, I'm Kurt Barshik. I'd like to tell Mr. President, the day I started at U.S. Steel, my supervisor at the blast furnace told me, "Kid, what are you doing here? Do you think this mill will be here? Look at Homestead. Look at Duquesne. They're not here. You're wasting your time." And I can stand here years later and think about our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren that are going to have family-sustaining, good-paying jobs, all because of President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you.
Great people. These are great people. I want to just say, I just saw them. I think this is their 156th rally. I don't know what the hell their husbands are doing, but they come from North Carolina, the beautiful women of North Carolina. They're over here, and I just want to thank them very much for being here with us. It's been unbelievable. This is 126 or something like that. And, they're happily married from what I understand, but I'll tell you what, that must be a little bit of a strain on the relationship. They've followed me all over the world for 9 years now. I go to so many rallies, and we appreciate it. It's called love, and there's so much love in this room. It's incredible. The men and women here today, they work every day to keep America powerful and strong, and for decades you watched as one globalist politician after the next sold you out and sent your dreams to China. and to many other foreign countries, but now you finally have a president who's working for you and fighting for you, and we're going to be watching over you. This is going to be so successful. You're going to be so proud of this. This is going to be a very big day. I hope it's going to be one of the biggest days in your life. I don't want it to be the biggest, you know. You got married, you had children. I guess we got to give that to them and give that to you. But this is going to be truly one of the biggest days in your life. I feel sincerely, I have such confidence in this group of people. Since my election, we've created nearly 500,000 new jobs, including 10,000 manufacturing jobs, and those numbers are going through the roof. We're going to have close to $11 trillion invested in new investments in the United States, and you can look at other years. There's never been anything like that. And by the way, that's essentially in 2 months, not 4 months, because it took me a little time to get acclimated. But over the last 2.5 months, we're over $11 trillion is going to be coming. Apple is spending $500 billion to invest in America, not in China. NVIDIA, $500 billion. TSMC, if you look at this one, TSMC, and this is a company the biggest in the world for chips, $200 billion at least. Amazon, $4 billion. Johnson & Johnson, $55 billion. Merck, Stellantis, General Motors are putting in billions and billions of dollars. We have it all done. It's going to be all with very little inflation. In fact, it was 2.1% in April, way down. You went through inflation that was probably the greatest inflation in the history of our country over the last 4 years. And now we have it down to around 2%. Grocery prices are down. Mortgage rates are down. Energy prices are down. And gasoline prices over Memorial Day weekend were the lowest they have been since 2003. Think of that. In fact, in a couple of states, gasoline, $1.98 a gallon. When have you heard that number lately? Income soared in April, up 0.8%, almost triple expectations, and we achieved the largest drop in consumer prices and the largest increase in consumer confidence since the pandemic, and actually probably about 20 years before the pandemic. Last month, we also cut the trade deficit in half, and that's the story of today. They can't believe it. The numbers just came. We cut, before we even get started, actually, we cut it in half, the trade deficit. And very importantly, have stopped the invasion of illegal aliens who are undercutting your wages and stealing your jobs. You saw that last month. 99.999%. Can you imagine? That was our cut. It's been, the border is closed, but it's open, and it'll always be open to people that want to come into our country legally. We want to have people come in legally, but we don't want to have them come in the way they're allowed to come in. We've ended the flood of criminals, gang members, murderers, drug dealers, and human traffickers, and we're sending them back to the places from which they came. And the future of American workers is only getting brighter. I said before, and I'll say it again, we have the hottest country right now in just 4 months. But actually, you have to go back to November 5th. Since November 5th, that was election day, we had the greatest election victory, they say, in 129 years. The most consequential election in 129 years. I don't know what 129 years was, but we'll check it out later on. We'll find out. Must have been something pretty good. But we have the most consequential. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote. We won the districts, 2,750 to 505. We're doing a job, and you're doing a job, and it's only because of you that we could have had that success. We're right now on the verge of passing the largest working class tax cuts in American history. We got to get that beautiful big bill, beautiful, beautiful as it is. We got to get it passed. The Senate, call your senators. And I'll tell you, you have great people representing you. Your senators, your congressmen, you have great people. Every single Democrat House member voted to impose the largest tax hike in history. The Democrats are voting for the largest, highest tax hike in history. I've never heard of it before. Meanwhile, our one big, beautiful bill will keep income taxes at the current rates and deliver no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our seniors. And we're going to make the interest payments, as you know, on cars. We're going to take the car payments and we're going to make them, those interest payments, you buy a car, you borrow money, we're going to make interest payments tax deductible, but only if the car is made in America, and that means made with American steel and steel from U.S. Steel. And we're permanently expanding the child tax credit, and we're creating a special Trump account for every newborn child, starting them off with a $1,000 credit to be invested over the course of their life. A little baby is born, they're going to start off with $1,000. And if we do a good job of investing their money, we're going to go with one of the investing guidelines. Who the hell knows if they're any good, but they have a chance to be very rich. It's going to be very cute to see. We're going to follow it very closely. And critically, the bill includes the largest reductions to wasteful spending in a generation or more, slashing more than $1.6 trillion in waste, fraud, and abuse. And the one big beautiful bill, and get out there and get your congressmen and your senators and any other senator or congressman you know, get them to vote for it, because the Democrats are willing to vote against the biggest tax deduction or tax decrease in history. This is the biggest tax cut, think of it, in the history of our country. If it doesn't get approved, you're going to have a 68% tax increase. Lots of luck. And the Democrats would rather have you have a tax increase, think of that, of 68%. They would rather have that happen than vote for a bill where you get the biggest tax cut. So there's something wrong. You know, all my life I grow up, I watch politics, and I've always watched politicians say, we will cut your taxes, we will cut. These Democrats want to raise your taxes, and in theory, a 68% increase. One other thing I did, and you probably saw it last week, you know, we pay the highest drug prices and pharmaceutical prices anywhere in the world by far. Other countries pay sometimes 1/10 of what we pay. A pill that costs $20, we spend $200, $250, $270 in many cases. It's the most unfair thing I've ever seen. And last week I did what had to be done, and it wasn't easy against the biggest lobby anywhere probably in the world, most powerful lobby, the drug companies, and I'm not even calling them bad, but they were able to do things. They're going to be fine, by the way. They're going to just stabilize. But we're going to now call a favored nations where we will pay the lowest price anywhere in the world, and they have to match it. We will be cutting your drug bill by 85 and even 90%. You know, I was very proud in my first administration. You may have remembered, I called for a major press conference because we were the first, I was the first one in 28 years to lower drug prices. They were lowered 0.25% over a period of a year. And I was so proud of that because nobody had ever had an administration where prices of drugs went down. 0.25%, not much. Now we're going to be lowering your drug costs by 90%, by 85%, by 75%, by numbers that nobody's ever heard of before. We will be paying equal to the lowest price of drugs and pharmaceuticals anywhere in the world. Have fun, because that's a lot of money. That's going to bring down Medicare. It's going to bring down the cost of, think of it, Medicaid. It's going to have an effect on everything, but it's going to have the biggest effect on your wallet. You're going to be saving a tremendous amount of money, and nobody else would do that but me. I have taken on some rather harsh critics over that because, again, that's the biggest lobby. They spend billions and billions and billions of dollars a year not to have that done. But I said it's really time to do it. So you're going to have the lowest drug prices anywhere in the world. With one big, beautiful bill, we will protect over 7 million jobs, raise take-home pay for American families by up to $13,000 per household. and reduce taxes for working class Americans by as much as 13%. Those are big numbers. The bill will also remove 1.4 million illegal aliens from Medicaid and protect the programs for truly needy Americans. And it includes funding to hire 3,000 new Border Patrol agents and 10,000 new ICE agents. And these people like you, these are heroes. The jobs they have done, they go into areas that are so dangerous, it's unbelievable, but they're tough, they're smart, and they love our country. So I want to just thank ICE, and I want to thank the Border Patrol, and I want to thank law enforcement in general. They've been incredible. Really incredible. And I'll never forget our firemen. I don't know if we have firemen here today, but we're never going to forget our firemen. They do a great job. Over the past 4 months, we've accomplished more than most administrations achieve in 4 years or even 8 years. We've done this in 4 months. We've done something on spirit and optimism and pride, which is sweeping across our land. And with the announcement, it's surging like never before here in Western Pennsylvania. Remember, the entire world is watching us today. I'm making a speech, and I have millions and millions. Look at all the fake news back there. Look at that. That's a lot of fake news, come to think of it. Now, they've been pretty good to us here. They've, gave us a reasonably accurate display. But all over the world, look at that. All over the world, they're watching your local region and how well it's doing and how well it's going to do. For generations, the workers of this region have always been there for our country when we needed you most. You built this country from Pittsburgh to Pottstown, from Bethlehem to Hopewell, and from Washington County to right here in Western Mifflin. The foundries and blast furnaces of Pennsylvania have smashed foreign armies, strengthened the hulls of the world's greatest navy, raised up majestic cities, won 2 world wars, and made America into the richest, strongest, and most powerful country on the face of the earth. And it's suffered greatly over the last 4 years, but we're going to get it back, and we're going to get it back fast. It's almost back already. It suffered, though. It suffered. I'm not going to make any excuses. It suffered with incompetent, radical left lunatics. But under our leadership, we're making it richer, stronger, and more powerful than ever before. And that's why I want to thank you very much. And thank you, Prime Minister, and thank everybody. They all knew what was happening here. With the help of patriots like you, we're going to produce our own metal, unleash our own energy, secure our own future, build our country, control our destiny. And we are once again going to put Pennsylvania steel into the backbone of America like never before. The golden age of America has only just begun, and together we are going to make America great again, greater than ever before. Thank you very much, Pennsylvania, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, hooligans, there you have it. President Trump out in Pittsburgh. We're going to hang out with President Trump until he is no longer visible, because we want to make sure he gets off the stage fine with no crazy incidents or anything like that. Of course, we were sitting here when the shots were fired that one day. So we like to hang out with President Trump until we can't see him anymore. Either way, we got a schedule of Coffee with Hooligans coming up. But first, we'll read through the chat. What do you hooligans think about this rally? It's been a little while since we've had a rally. I thought it was pretty good and better than hearing the same old, same old. A lot of people always complain about that, but had lots of new stuff in this rally. For a while, they had so many steel workers up on stage. I was wondering if President Trump was at their rally. They were just telling their whole life story there. Either way, reading through and we'll get into the schedule in just a moment. You hear this dog outside? Klaus, get him. Go get the dog. Shots fired. Pumpkin, love my President Trump? Absolutely. Told to care in his element? Yeah, he's getting it. Told to care, God bless Trump? Absolutely. Meta hitting the Trump dance. Very nice. DB, that's what I voted for. Absolutely. All right, got a nice forehead shot there. Anyways, moving forward, we're going to read through the schedule really quick, and then we'll go ahead and get everything started. First, I want to give a huge shout out to Anonymous Donor. Thank you so much for the PayPal. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you so much. We'll be starting off with a video titled, let me see. All three of these videos are from earlier today. We'll play them back to back. First one is President Trump gifts Elon Musk a gold White House key as a gift for his sacrifice and service to the country. Second video is Elon Musk departs the White House with Oval Office send-off. They're going to be kind of mentioning a few things in that video. And then the third one is Elon Musk, they say, deflects question about report of drug use and family drama. And then we will be moving forward to first Neuralink patient on living 1 year with the brain chip. This is obviously a follow-up. We've been covering the Neuralink stuff since the implant happened. This will be like our fourth follow-up on this guy. Then we got a video titled Joe Biden discusses his health situation, treatment for prostate cancer. I was kind of surprised to see him talking to the press, but he's still old man Walter. Then we got a video titled U.S. storing migrant children's DNA in FBI database. That sounds terrible the way that they titled that, but I was kind of surprised that they had a DNA database. I didn't realize that was a thing, but I guess it is. Then we got a video titled Immigration Crackdown Expands in Communities Across the Country. There's kind of a plethora of stories about border crossers getting picked up for this mass deportation. Then the last little bit of the news is ICE steps in to deport teen border crosser who got probation for deadly crash. This is a follow-up video. When we originally covered it, they were saying that it was an illegal 17-year-old who was driving above the speed limit. He ended up T-boning this young woman's car and killing her while she was on her way home from work, and he was sentenced to probation and community service. Well, apparently the Trump admin found out about it, and they're going to deport his whole family. So, good news at the end there. Then we'll be moving on to the fun stuff. We'll be opening today's door of the Advent calendar sent to us by Tori Wayne. We got two funny videos of the day. Both of them were provided by Stoner. First one's titled Professional Hole Service, and I love that video. And our official funny video of the day is titled When You Don't Discipline Your Kids. All that is coming up. We're going to be starting off with this first video. Well, like I said, we're going to play this first three back to back because it's all the same situation. First one's titled President Trump gifts Elon Musk a gold White House key as a gift for his sacrifice and service to the country. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, if you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out as we're making Saturdays more fun. Let's get this pulled up real quick. Like I said, we're going to play these three videos back to back. And this is all from earlier today. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, we have these Hooligan Strong t-shirts. Now, this design was created by Alistair, and Alistair is a badass in just about everything he does. So I will be posting his link in all of the chats for you hooligans to have your opportunity to hire him for your creative needs, because if you think it, he can create it. Now, this design does come in shirts for men, shirts for women, tank tops for men, tank tops for women, pullover hoodies, zipper hoodies, coffee mugs, dog tags, and we even got tumblers in this design. Today I got on the I am an American and I do not comply t-shirt. We got lots of items and lots of designs over in the merch store. I'll be dropping all the links in the chats while we're watching this first video.
A little special something we have here.
Thank you.
A very special that I give to very special people. I have given it to some, but it goes to very special people, and I thought I'd give it to Elon as a presentation from our country.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. This is a lot. The luck on this is amazing.
A large lot. A little special something we have here.
All right, President Trump gifting Elon Musk the golden White House key. I've never even heard of that, but now we know. Moving on to the second video. This one's titled Elon Musk departs the White House with Oval Office send-off. They're going to be talking about a few things. A couple different topics in this. All right, hooligans, hit that like button if you haven't already, and let's get into this.
just now that you look forward to being a friend and advisor to the president. So do you expect to continue advising the president and Doge informally, or are you going to sort of shift your focus entirely to your companies?
Well, I expect to continue to provide advice whenever the president would like advice.
I hope so.
I mean, I expect to remain a friend and an advisor, and certainly if there's anything the president wants me to do, I'm at the president's service.
Mr. Musk, on Doge, you said that there was $1 trillion promise for cuts from Doge.
Yes, I think we do expect over time to achieve the $1 trillion.
But what have you found in your time here was the biggest roadblock to getting those cuts? Was it the cabinet, or was it Congress, or something else? What was the biggest roadblock from your work?
It's mostly just a lot of hard work. It's really not any one person or Congress. It's going through really millions of line items and saying just each one of them makes sense, what does not make sense. Obviously, at times when you cut expenses, those who are receiving the money, whether they're receiving that money legitimately or not, they do complain. And you're not going to hear someone confessing that they received money inappropriately. Never. They're going to always say that they received money appropriately for an important cause. Naturally, that's what you'd expect. So we just have to. It's just a lot of work going through the vast expenses of the federal government and just really asking questions. What's this money for? Are you sure it's actually being used well? Many times we can't even find anyone who defends it. So for a lot of the expenses, there's actually no defender at all. And then we have to just work through the process of stopping the spending, where there's often literally no defender. Nobody even knows why the money's being spent. It's truly absurd. I mean, we find situations where there are millions of software licenses with 0 people using them. 0. Exactly. This is the quizzical expression. You're like, surely, if there's millions of software licenses, someone should be using them. No, and then we've got to go through the process of saying, okay, look, if no one's using the software, we need to terminate this software license agreement. That's everywhere in the government, by the way.
Mr. Musk, what do you think would be easier, colonizing Mars or making the government efficient?
It's a tough call, but I think colonizing Mars and making life multi-planetary is harder. And as I said, we do expect to achieve over time the $1 trillion of savings. We can't do it in like a few months, but if you say by I think the official end of Doge, which the president may choose to extend, is the middle of next year. Say by the middle of next year, with the support of the president and Congress, could we achieve $1 trillion of savings? I think so.
All right, we got one more on this topic here. This last one is titled, Elon Musk deflects question about report of drug use and family drama. I didn't see anything about the family drama, but I did see a lot of stuff on the internet talking about him overusing ketamine and all kinds of other stuff. I don't know. I think they're just talking shit while he's on his way out.
Large lot.
Well, let me say perhaps a few words.
Oh, actually, I think we got to start here. Let me see. We already heard some of this. There we go.
Thank you, President Trump. The president mentioned that you had to deal with all the slings and arrows during your time at Doge. There's this.
Well, some of the people, some of the media organizations in this room are the slingers.
Well, so there is a New York Times report today that accuses you of blurring the line between.
Is the New York Times, is that the same publication that got a Pulitzer Prize for false reporting on the Russiagate? Is it the same organization?
I gotta check my Pulitzer counter.
It is. I think the judge just ruled against the New York Times for their lies about the Russiagate hoax, and that they might have to give back that Pulitzer Prize. That New York Times. Let's move on.
Okay, Peter Ducey there getting shut down by Elon Musk. Either way, next up we got first Neuralink patient on living 1 year with the brain chip. So of course there's a follow-up video. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what your hooligans think about Elon leaving the White House and, well, everything they just talked about. What's up, Tori Wayne? Happy freedom to you. Russell, I want a giant gold key and inappropriate money. Yeah, for real. I think we all do. Now, I don't understand the point of the gold key. I think maybe it's just to kind of tell him he did a good job while he was there. Otherwise, I don't really know the point of that. Is he the first one to receive it? I have never heard of a gold White House key. Oh, I guess a couple people have got it. Apparently Benjamin Netanyahu has one. Got it in 2020. Interesting. Hair juicer, have a key to my house. Whispers, change the locks. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Tor Wayne is symbolic. Yeah, I think so. Russell, it's like a key to the city. I've only seen that stuff in cartoons. I didn't know that was a real thing either. Pumpkin must be a Trump thing. Definitely could be. Stoner, I would let Elon chip my melon. I don't know. This guy who's got the Neuralink seems to like it, but his life was really limited before he had it, so now he can read books and cruise on the internet and stuff. I want to know if he can play online games. Like, is he like badass at Call of Duty? Like, I really want to know that. They don't talk about that in the video, but I'm just wondering. Because, you know, it seems like he'd be more dialed in than using a mouse or a controller. Stoner the gold chip clip. Yeah, we're going to have to make some. For honorary hooligans. Tola bashing New York Times. Yeah. Stoner, I don't know. Elon trained to fight Zuckerberg. I forgot about that. I forgot that they were supposed to fight. I don't know. I think they still should. Pumpkin Elon did a wonderful job for us. Freed up those doll hairs. They fought him every step of the way, though. I wonder if the liberals will go back to liking Teslas now that he's no longer in the White House. What's up, Boone? Happy freedom to you. What's up, Kirk Allen? Happy freedom to you. Shroomish, a symbolic way to waste taxpayers' money. Well, I'm sure it's not solid gold, but yeah, probably. Happy freedom to you, Shroomish. What's up, Master Meatball? Happy freedom to you. Master Meatball, we need to get ready for midterms. Yeah, absolutely. Prop Patriot Girly, he has a black eye. Yeah, I keep seeing people in the chat saying that Lil X caught him talking crazy and let him have it. Told him watch his mouth next time. No, I'm not sure that's exactly how it happened, but it was something along those lines. Either way, moving forward here, first Neuralink patient on living 1 year with the brain chip. He actually had an upgrade. He's had software updates too. I think that's very interesting. Either way, hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommuTube, and let's get into this.
Before getting the implant, you couldn't be alone without help for more than half an hour at a time. You obviously couldn't send an email or watch a movie or play online chess. I know you're a big fan of online chess. You couldn't do anything without help. And once you got the implant, you said it was like magic. So talk us through this technology. How do you use it on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's I like to say it's pretty simple. What I mean by that is, of course, the technology itself is not very simple, but how it's used is pretty intuitive. And I use it for all sorts of things.
Do you have to turn it on? Like, do you turn it on?
I do. Okay. So I have a little hat that has a charger in it. It plugs in, and I can command the implant to connect or disconnect at any point. And after that, I just do whatever I want on a computer. Whatever anyone else can do on a computer, I can do, and I use it for all sorts of things.
Do you have to say something in particular when you say you command, the computer to do something? Do you say cursor move or?
Yeah, just in order to connect, I'll say implant connect, and it'll connect.
And then after that, you just think a thought, and it happens on the computer in front of you.
Yes, ma'am. That's basically how it works.
Have you had any negative consequences or side effects from this?
No, not really. At the beginning, there was some thread retraction, but so right now they've told me plus or minus 10% of the threads are in the, I guess their intended spot in my brain, but they changed how the signals are read, and I got cursor control back just fine. It's better than it was before, actually, and so I haven't had any sort of physical side effects, mental side effects. It's been all positive so far.
So say you want to write me an email. You would talk me through what you would think.
So essentially I just have cursor control. So I'll go into my email, click around, do whatever I need to do to
So you
send
go
you
to
an email.
inbox, start it, you say click start a new email.
Yeah, I don't have to say anything. It's just I think I want to click, and it clicks. Left click, right click, whatever I want. And then after that, I will either use dictation or I can use a virtual keyboard on my computer screen to type out whatever I want to say. And then again, just click, and it sends.
So I was struck by something you said recently, that you have read more in the last 14 months than you had in the many, many years after you were paralyzed and before that implant was put into your brain. This implant allows you to read a book on your own. Or in your case, many books.
Yeah, it's something that I missed a lot. I was an avid reader before my accident, and reading books just kind of wasn't very possible after my accident. I got stuck listening to audiobooks, and those are hit or miss. Sometimes you don't like a narrator. Sometimes the book just doesn't sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to read. So I've been able to use like a Kindle or other reading apps, and I read all the time now. It's one of my favorite pastimes.
And you now have a job. Is this because of Neuralink?
Yeah. So I'm traveling around and speaking. So I know there's plenty of other things I could do, but it's something that I have a big passion about. Talking about Neuralink, talking about my faith, my story. So I travel around and speak to whoever wants to hear me at this point.
Neuralink is constantly updating your software, making things faster, making things smarter. Have you noticed the technology changing and improving in the last year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of the user interface has changed. I think a lot of how they are calibrating, how they are reading the signals, they've constantly been updating things. So from where we were at the beginning, it is massive improvements. And the more people that join the study, the better it's going to get. I honestly don't know what it's going to look like when it gets, completely released, but I know it's going to be leaps and bounds better.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our...
It's pretty interesting. They said he had a physical upgrade to his Neuralink, and then they did software updates since he's had it installed. It's not yet public. I don't know. Like I said, I really wonder how he plays like Call of Duty and stuff, because there's no way they didn't try that. They're saying he plays chess and he's reading books and stuff, but I feel like he could be like, I don't know, competing with Doc and them if he was playing a little Battlefield or something like that. Either way, next up we got Joe Biden discusses his health situation and treatment for prostate cancer. It's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about the first Neuralink patient. Hair juicer, Elon's in my head, get it out. Yeah, I wonder what it's like, because he talks about it so kind of like nonchalant because he's had it for a year and he's probably gone through a whole bunch, but to people that don't know a lot about it, he kind of sounds like he's oversimplifying it to a certain degree. Now, he says mostly what he does is move the cursor around, but he kind of mentions when he's talking about typing where in certain cases he can kind of think of what he wants to say and it will type it. Then he kind of says, he can pull up an on-screen keyboard. So it makes me wonder what all he can actually do with the Neuralink, and I wonder what they have as far as plans for the Neuralink. Usually when you're looking up software or like device ability, they'll have a change log where you can see things that they're working on, things they plan to do in the future, and things that they've accomplished in the past. So it makes me wonder if there's a Neuralink version of that where you can see what possibilities that they're aiming for when it comes to the Neuralink. Tori Wayne, my deepest thoughts just happen. Yeah, it's very interesting the way he talks about it. Russell, well, do I have implants in my wiener? Because it has a mind of its own. I'm not sure, Russell. I'm not sure. Don't pull it out. I don't want to see it. What's up, Fitzy? Happy freedom to you. SOS, happy freedom to you. Incredible procedure. Was thinking the same thing. Is Elon's in there? Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting. Especially the thing, he has to activate it. I wonder what that's like, too. To, like, try to get it all active. Like, how do you know if it's working or not? You're, like, trying to move the cursor. It ain't working, so he's just sitting there yelling at the Neuralink, trying to get it started. I don't know. It's very interesting. What's up, Hat the Cat? Happy freedom to you. Stern, that really is something, or it really is amazing for someone like him. So cool. Yeah, they were talking when Neuralink was like a newer thing, and they were talking about everything they wanted to do. I remember Elon was talking about making it so people could walk again, or even be able to hear or see again, or maybe for the first time in their life. And like those are really crazy goals. So it'll be interesting when they have more participants in the Neuralink. We can keep covering it. Master Meatballer, was it the chip talking? That's really interesting. Like they did an override. They're controlling them now remotely. Tube Steak, can Trump's EOs be called a success if black robes are blocking them? I don't know. I don't know what to think about that whole thing, because that's kind of what the Dems are doing right now. There's a lot of Democrats that are like, well, Trump's not doing anything, knowing damn well that these judges are blocking everything he's trying to do. But like the tariffs, the judges try to block the tariffs, and they got that back on board. The judges try to block the mass deportations, and that's still rolling. I think the only thing he did that they didn't try and block was close the border. And that's because he didn't have to do anything. He just told them to close the border. But everything else he's signed as an EO, they've stood in the way. Now, I don't know about the pharmaceutical prices. I haven't heard anything about judges standing in the way of pharmaceutical prices. But everything else is getting blocked by judges. So I don't really know what to think about that, because that's not the same thing as him not doing what he promised, right? He wants to kick dudes out of women's sports. Judges are blocking it. Is that him not keeping his promise? I mean, I think he's trying, but I worry more about the cabinets. The people who made promises that they're not even attempting to deliver on. It feels like Trump is doing what he had promised us, and he's constantly coming out with new things pretty much every day. But then judges turn around and stand in the damn way. So I don't really know what to think about it. I know that the left is enjoying saying that he's not getting anything done, but it's judge's fault he's not getting anything done. What's up, Daniel? Happy freedom to you. Tube Steak, that's been the left's plan since 2016. Yeah. Stand in the way and then claim that they're not doing anything. Tori Wayne, it turns out there's a lot of side effects, but they won't let them talk about it. I believe that. I totally believe that. Stern, I wonder how you would become a participant and who qualifies. I'm not sure, Stern. That guy was a quadriplegic, I believe. And so you got to be in pretty rough shape in order to qualify, but I'm not sure other than that. What I wonder is, like, what are they doing with the military? You know, like, if the Neuralink was a success and it gives you abilities that nobody else has, you would think that our government would have some sort of weaponization of this. Because, you know, they always fantasize in movies and stuff, and the government's heavily involved in the production of movies and TV shows. They always fantasize about super soldiers. So you would think because Neuralink is a success to a certain degree, that they'd be working on super soldiers with that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I don't know. I have a lot of questions about the Neuralink stuff. Either way, moving forward here, like I said, this next one is Joe Biden discusses his health situation and treatment for prostate cancer. He's still old man Walter. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing for the press to actually catch him. If I was an old man like old man Walter, decrepit, brain dead, and I got butthole cancer, then yeah, I would be sitting on my ass. I wouldn't be wandering around in an uncomfortable suit. I know that. Maybe his handlers still need him to do some work. Either way, before we get into this, I want to remind you, hooligans, if you'd like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com, come to the live, hop in the chat, and like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We got chapstick emojis, scream and goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live. So definitely go join the membership program over on Rumble. All right, once again, this is Joe Biden discussing his health situation and treatment for prostate cancer. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and let's get into this.
Well, the prognosis is good. We're working on everything. It's moving along. So I feel good.
Have you decided on your treatment options?
Yeah, we have. And they're underway, and all the folks are very optimistic.
And so you've started treatment?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Would you be willing to share what exactly that entails?
It's all a matter of taking a pill, one particular pill. And for the next 6 weeks and then another one. And the expectation is we're going to be able to beat this. It's not in any organ. It's my bones are strong. I hadn't penetrated, so I'm feeling good. Well, we're all optimistic about the diagnosis. Matter of fact, one of the leading surgeons in the world is working with me. There's a lot going on, and I think we're in a really difficult moment, not only in American history, but in world history. I think we're one of those inflection points in history, where the decisions we make in the next little bit are going to determine what things look like for the next 20 years. I've been talking about that for a long time, and I'm very proud. I'll put my record as president against any president at all. You notice that 12 of the 10 leading presidential historians rated me pretty good on that list, and the guy I ran against, I rated him last. So we'll see.
He was staring into that girl's soul. That's what was going on. Do you see the look on her face? Hold on, let me pull this up. She looks scared for her life. Let's get this out of the way. Look at old man Walt staring right into her soul. She doesn't, I don't know. She probably ain't feeling the heartbeat in her hoo-ha. She's feeling something else. Either way, that's old man Walter continuing to be a dusty old man. Next up, U.S. storing border crosser children's DNA in FBI database. Now, it's not just children, but you know how the news is. They got to word things like that. Apparently, the FBI has a DNA database called CODIS, and they're using it for border crossers just in case they decide to come back in. Now, I wonder if they got some sort of system like this for Americans that they just don't talk about, but they don't talk about that in this video. Either way, that's what's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about old man Walter. I know you guys miss old man Walter. Snooks, I have to say this, Jill sure is going to miss having sex with him. Well, if you think about her pegging him, then she might. She might. You never know. Russell, if I was Biden, I'd be wearing pajamas like Hugh Hefner. I wouldn't know what the hell I would do if I was Biden. No, I'm not going to say that. I don't know. If I was a decrepit old man with cancer, I wouldn't be out there in a suit talking to anybody. I wouldn't be talking to anybody. You'd be watching me walk around, my wiener hanging out, drinking beer, just trying to live it up. Probably on the beach. Have to roll Grandpa Jeff over to tan those cheekers because I'd be just living my best life. There's no way I'd be dying and working at the same time. You'd be lucky I wasn't robbing banks and shit. Like, why not? What are they gonna do? Put you in jail? You're gonna fucking die. Like, chances are you're gonna die. You know, you're 80 years old. You got cancer. Live it up. Live it up. Now, he's already lived a crazy ass life, which makes me think that I'm surprised that he's not just sitting around. He spent more than half of his presidency sitting on the beach. Go back to sitting on the beach, like over here giving speeches and shit. How's the cancer going? Fucking terrible. Thanks for asking. Like, I don't know. I don't get that. I don't know why they're even talking to him. Snooks, yeah, Google that. You're gonna enjoy that. Told to Biden's big sniff. Yeah, that was his going away video. I think that's what we call the final sniff or something like that. That's what we called Biden's farewell video. Stoner, there's a huge database of criminals' DNA. Do they do that in prisons? Because I want to say I heard a long time ago that they had a database for prisoners. But I haven't heard that in so long that I'm not quite sure if that was true or not. I should Google it here in a second. Sage Pup, I think Biden gets his news from Cartoon Network. You might be right. Stoner, he's taking the horse paste. That would be hilarious. That'd be so ironic from Old Man Walter. Told to carry he's in a world of his own. Absolutely. What's up, Roy? Happy freedom to you. Pumpkin, his forehead staples fell out. Yeah, he was droopy up here. He was real droopy. Kevin, Biden is the human version of Siegel shit. That's amazing. I love that comment, Kevin. Shroomish, they just don't talk about it. Military is always at least 20 years ahead of private sector. Yeah, I've figured. Fitzy, Gramps is shit in red, white, and blue. Probably feels better to stand up. Yeah, I could see that. Yanka, but the left lie to people. Some cabinet members are calling them out. Yeah, well, they can call out the lefties all damn day. They're just miserable people. You can give them everything they want and they'll still find something to complain about. It's just what they do. Snooks, you figured out what... Yeah, that's... Well, at least you Googled it. Now you know. Hair juicer. I feel attacked. It's all right, hair juicer. She don't understand. That is hilarious. Sage Puff, if Biden streaks the chat, it may be gross, but why not? He's old. I don't know. That's just what I'd be doing. If I was in my last days, I'd be living it up. What are they gonna do? Kill you faster? Who cares? Fuck it. You know, you're at the end of the run. Do whatever you want. Do a cartwheel. Shit. Blame others. Blame others for everything. Just shit right on the sidewalk like it's California and then go, Klaus did it. Like, just all day. Meta, wow, mumbling, stumbling ghost. Yeah, like I said, Old Man Walter is still Old Man Walter. They want everyone to feel bad for him because he's got cancer, and obviously cancer is no, laughing situation there. But it doesn't take away him scamming us for 4 years and running the country in the ground and everybody around him lying and controlling the situation. So, yeah, but that's got to be the only reason he's even in the news or anything like that. Is, oh, remember what we told you about Old Man Walter? Yeah, poor Old Man Walter. Here's a story with him. Feel real bad for him and forget all the shit he did, and then he wasn't even held accountable because he wasn't fit to stand trial. Yeah, don't think about that. Just think about his diagnosis. Like, oh, okay. Stern, my daughter has cerebral palsy. I wonder if it would be something she could use. Possibly. I don't know anything about that, but I bet Neuralink has a website that probably has a ton of information on it. Maybe even like a contact us page where you can see about applying or seeing, like, talk to somebody who knows more about it. I bet they do. Southern Eagleman, he was burning a hole in her. I know, he was staring right through her face. She looked quite intimidated. Proud Patriot Girly, he is creepy. He is creepy. It's a Blizzard. Happy for him to you. He's a walking corpse. MD's time better spent on a youngster. I don't know. Old man Walter. I don't know what to think, other than them just sticking him in the news for sympathy. Snooks, I really feel at times that there are things I just don't need to know. I guess, Snooks, sometimes I have a hard time detecting what I should and shouldn't say because hooligans come in all ages. And so, I don't know. But now you know, Snooks. Now you know what that is. So next time we're talking about pegging, you understand. Either way, moving forward here, like I said, U.S. storing border crosser children's DNA in an FBI database.
DNA.
Now, of course, this is News Nation. That's why the title is that way. They want you to feel bad for these border crossers because they're being put in a database. They could have stayed home and not ended up in our database, but, you know, whatever's whatever. Hit that like button over on Rumble as well as the CommentTube, and let's get into this.
DNA from migrant children, some as young as 4 years old, is being stored by immigration authorities so that they can track them if they commit crimes in the future. That's according to a new report by Wired. Brooke's back looking into these claims for us. Clearly a controversial issue. What's the reasoning behind it?
Well, CBP says that they're doing it to help secure the border. They want to keep track, of course, of the people coming in and out of the country, but they also want to keep track of potential criminals. But of course, this is sparking some debate because some of the DNA that they are reportedly collecting belongs to kids. The DNA Identification Act lets the government store DNA from criminals in CODIS. It's a national database. But in 2020, they started collecting DNA from migrants and putting that in CODIS too. And they recently quietly released records of this on CBP's website. According to a report from Georgetown Law Center for Privacy and Technology, in CODIS's first 2 decades, they had 25,000 DNA profiles. Since 2020, they've added over 1.5 million. Some say that number could be close to 2 million.
When we start talking about DNA, we're talking about some of the most sensitive information possible, and some of the most making us really vulnerable. And I think what's important for people to understand is that the risks are not just even to the people whose DNA is taken and placed into the system. Very quickly, the risk starts to redound to all of us.
So when looking through some of this newly released data, the magazine Wired reports that the U.S. government has collected DNA from at least 133,000 migrant kids and teenagers, including at least one 4-year-old. Now, CBP in response says that they collect DNA for CODIS from people who are arrested on federal charges and from aliens detained by CBP. Wired reports that the Department of Justice is keeping the DNA on file in case that person commits a crime in the future. But of course, you have a lot of groups wondering why they are collecting this DNA in the first place and why kids' DNA is being included in this group as well.
Yeah, and worried about in the future extensive profiling. With these children. Interesting. And where it's all even being stored too is also
another concern.
Another concerning question this morning.
For sure.
All right, Brooke, thanks so much.
Thank you for.
Okay, FBI keeping a DNA database on these border crossers. They've been doing it for a while. They've been doing it with border crossers since 2020. I don't know how that could be when we're hearing stories and been covering stories where there's border crossers who left in 2020 and came back in 2021 and left again and then came back in 2022 and left again and committed crimes and all kinds of other shit. And when they came across the border, they weren't flagged. I don't know. Do we got duplicate DNA submissions in the database or what? So it seems kind of weird when they talk about it like it's some foolproof system, knowing what's happened over the last 4 or 5 years with the border. But either way, the big thing that's controversial here is that they're talking about children as young as 4 years old are being put in the database. But again, these are only problems if you broke into the country. If you ain't breaking in the country, well, then you got to worry about a database. So I don't know. This sounds like problems that these people are signing up for. Next up, immigration crackdown expands in communities across the country. They're going to be talking about a lot of different things that are different factors in this mass deportation, but the common denominator message is the hotline is working. So definitely go figure out the ICE hotline because apparently they're paying attention. Either way, so what's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what you hooligans think about this border crosser DNA database. Here, Juicer, DNA is sensitive information. Where's Get Some? I know. Hopefully he comes back for the voice chat. Russell, well, I'm in a DNA database, but let's see, because I was in the military, so they could identify my body. Yeah, Russell. Well, and I Googled about prisoners being in a DNA database, but they said that it's highly incomplete anymore because of COVID. When COVID happened, they stopped taking prisoners' DNA in certain states or whatever. So they're saying it's really incomplete. I don't know. That makes me wonder. They're probably building a database on all of us one way or another. Totally Care sounds like fear-mongering. Yeah, they want people to be upset that children's DNA is being stored in a border crosser database. But they want to overlook the fact that they're border crossers in the first place. So, like, you know, it's News Nation. Doing what they do. Pumpkin, he made our lives miserable. Yeah, Old Man Walter. I had somebody say the other day that they think that Old Man Walter may have been equal or even better than Trump's current run, which is crazy because Trump's only been in office for a couple months. But I don't understand how somebody can put out mandates for vaccines and shit that made us lose some of our best doctors, nurses, military personnel, officers, first responders, firefighters, in some situations, school teachers, professors, stuff like that. Like putting out mandates that are unconstitutional, causing us to lose the best of the best, then turn around following that up with DEI hiring. So now we only got the most compliant of idiots working in these fields, and then we're going to put people who don't even qualify in place of the gap just because they have different skin colors and stupid shit like that. And it's like, yeah, that's totally better than what Trump's doing right now. Like, I don't know. People are so brain dead. I don't know what to think about this. I hear people say that, and I'm like, did we not go to the same schools? Did we not get the same education? Like, how do you come to those conclusions? Like, I don't get that. Shroomish, go ride a bike. Yeah. Old Man Walter. Sagepub, my cousin in Georgia works at a hospital nursing ward. They've been collecting baby DNA since the 90s. That's interesting. They probably have a crazy database. They've been collecting DNA that long. Here, Juicer, in Alex Jones' voice, ever handle a penny? Government has your DNA. That's why they keep them in circulation. Is that how it works here, Juicer? Somebody was telling me something about Alex Jones talking about ChatGPT. I think it was yesterday. And I was looking and looking and looking. Cannot find that video anywhere. And I really want to know what Alex Jones was saying about ChatGPT. Meta biometric tracking, is that what that is? No, I don't think so. I think biometric tracking is like fingerprints and facial recognition. They're taking blood samples, I assume. I don't think they're taking DNA any other kind of way, but I assume it's blood samples. Prop Patriot Girly. Damn, should have used the 800 number last week. An illegal hit a car, took off. We got him to stop. He was crying, said he was illegal and wanted to give us money to let him go. No driver's license, no insurance. Yeah, that's no good. Yeah, that's the thing. In this next video, I think they're going to be talking about the hotline number. They may even put it on the screen, so we should all write it down. Because if you have any interactions with illegals, or you know that for sure there's illegals somewhere, you can call the hotline because they want people to know they are paying attention to that hotline. Married kids can live with their parents. Yeah, and that's another thing, is they want to make it seem, News Nation's trying to make it seem like these border crosser kids are being sent off into the world on their own, which is not the case. That is not the case. It's a Fry TV. Happy Freedom. Alex Jones is a shill for NASA. I just think Alex Jones is hilarious. Everything they did Neuralink for a guy with tremors that helped him might be worth checking into. That's interesting. Yeah, Neuralink is a very interesting thing that is happening. Either way, moving forward here, like I said, immigration crackdown expands in communities across the country. They're going to be talking about a plethora of things. I like that ICE has been waiting for these border crossers to go in to asylum court hearings and stuff like that for asylum seeking status or whatever, basically telling them that their asylum seeking status is over, and then ICE is going in and just arresting them right there in the courthouse. That seems to be working. They're doing that in a lot of states. They're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff like that in this video. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and let's get into this.
I'm Christine Frizzau in Washington, where the immigration crackdown continues. Last month, more than 17,000 illegal immigrants were deported, a 50% increase from the month before. But top Trump administration officials say they are nowhere near satisfied and are now directing immigration officials to boost the numbers by a lot. They are scenes that are playing out in every corner of the country. This video shared by ICE showing the arrest of illegal immigrants outside a big box store in Baltimore. They posted, "When you call our tip line, we listen." On Nantucket in Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts, Tuesday, ICE officials say 40 were arrested, including a documented gang member and at least one child sex offender. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey, though, slamming the effort, as many of those arrested were on their way to work.
People are being picked up. We have no information about their circumstance. There have been real questions raised about due process. We need to get answers. We need to get clarification from ICE.
In Virginia, Arlington police were recently barred from handing over illegal immigrants to ICE agents if they're confirmed gang members, violent felons, or accused human traffickers or terrorists.
ICE says this is going to make Arlington County a magnet for terrorists, gang members, and human traffickers.
You're wrong with that.
If that happens, if it happens, are you going to reverse this policy?
No.
These enforcement operations following a new demand from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and top Trump aide Stephen Miller, reportedly demanding they make 3,000 arrests per day.
We're going to flood the zone, and sanctuary cities will get exactly what they don't want. More agents in their neighborhoods, more worksite enforcement. There is no sanctuary for illegal aliens in this country. You can call it a sanctuary jurisdiction all you want. It's a bunch of crap, and we all know it.
Those arrests and removals, though, not just aimed at criminals. 4-year-old Sofia Vargas and her mother just had their visas revoked. She's been getting treatment for a rare medical condition at Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. Treatment only available in the United States. The Trump administration has also removed legal protection for more than 1 million others, including 500,000 from Haiti and another 500,000 from Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Afghanistan. I'm Christine Frizzau reporting.
Turning now.
All right. Oh, well. Border crossers ain't supposed to be here, so, those are sad stories. Sad stories. Should come here legally if you want to benefit from being here in America. You want to enjoy our rights and all of that. I still think it's bullshit that they get some of our constitutional rights just by standing on the soil. That means we need to protect our border a lot more than we have been. Next up, we got more ICE stuff, and it's the last little bit of the news. It's titled, ICE Steps In to Deport Teen Border Crosser Who Got Probation for Deadly Crash. Like I said, this is a follow-up video because we had covered a story where a father was being interviewed because his daughter was on the way home from work. She got T-boned on the driver's side by an illegal who was driving over the speed limit, and it killed her. The car crash killed her, and when he went to court, they gave him probation and community service, and that was it. And so apparently the Trump admin found out about this, and now they're going to deport his whole family. And so that's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat, see what your hooligans think about ICE cracking down across the nation. Russell, deport their asses. Yep, exactly. I mean, when we break the law, they hold us accountable. These people broke into the country, and everyone's like, nah, let them stay. They enjoy our benefits. No. How about no? How about no? Shroomish, wait, you mean free healthcare doesn't have the same medicine that we do? I mean, I don't know if they get free healthcare where they are, but either way, if they want to enjoy that healthcare, they should come here legally. Sage Pup, go get them, Homan. Absolutely. Pumpkin, we need to help with the tips. Yeah, I think so. That's why I think that it's kind of important that maybe, especially if you live in an area where you see illegals or you have crime with illegals and stuff like that, then it could be useful to have that hotline number. Shroomish, they're literally protecting criminals just because they hate ICE and Trump. Yeah, lefties are so stupid. Pumpkin, I haven't seen any to report. Yeah, I haven't seen any illegals either. Tool to carry ice, baby. Get them. Yep. Roy, I like how the media brings in stories about feelings. They do. Because they're trying to gain support from doughheads, really, from a bunch of softies out there. What's up, Rappy? Happy freedom to you. Steve S. Yeah. All right, hooligans. We're going to move into this last little bit of the news, and then we got the fun stuff coming up. Like I said, this is ICE steps in to deport teen border crosser who got probation for deadly crash. This is a follow-up video, and it sounds like some actual justice is going to happen. Hit that like button if you haven't already, and let's get into this.
And an update to bring you here. An illegal teenage migrant who got a slap on the wrist after killing a young Colorado woman who was driving home from work has now been taken into ICE custody. The 16-year-old initially avoided jail time for the July 2024 death of Caitlin Weaver, striking a plea deal to get probation and community service. But now the White House vows that he and his family, who are also illegal immigrants, will be deported. Former acting ICE director and federal prosecutor Jonathan Fahey joins me now. Jonathan, thanks for joining us. The injustice here can never really be undone, right? When you have an illegal immigrant who doesn't even have a driver's license kill a young woman in the prime of her life while he is recklessly drag racing only to get probation and community service. Details like that are exactly what motivates President Trump to do what he is doing. So the new news here is that both he and his family got picked up by ICE, set to be deported back to Colombia. So what do you think about that? Not just him, but his family also being deported.
They should be deported if they're here illegally, period. And the fact that he was here, he killed somebody and got a lenient sentence, he needs to be removed. And if he was removed without his family, you'd hear cries of separating the family. But it just shows how important public safety is to the Trump administration. They are desperately trying to make sure we don't have another Laken Riley, another Jocelyn Nungary. So they're going to remove people that are threats to public safety. And it's outrageous that the sentence that this guy got to begin with, he got probation for killing a young woman, so that's almost more insult to injury. But at very least, get him out of here so he doesn't hurt another American family, and also it'll be a deterrent to anyone else that either comes here or that's here illegally, that if they commit a crime, they're going to be removed.
Yeah, a partial deterrent, Jonathan, but it just doesn't feel like it's enough. I mean, if this family gets deported, they get to live freely in Colombia. And then what's to stop them from trying to get back into this country once again?
Yeah, that's a very good point. It's not enough for what he did. And I think what's going to stop him from coming back is, one, it's harder to get in now because the Trump administration's in effect sealed the border. And if they come back in, they'll be charged with the felony of illegal reentry after being deported, which will put them in prison. So I don't think they're going to take that risk. But again, they may try. And if they do under the Trump administration, they're going to get caught, they're going to get removed again, and they're going to do some jail time. But you're absolutely right. For what this guy did to not only kill a young woman, but destroy, in many ways, the lives of her family, the community, and other people, just because of a senseless act for somebody that should not have even been here, is absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, and we are seeing a trend just this week alone, Jonathan. There's been a slew of illegal immigrant arrests. There was this horrible situation that took place in Texas where 2 Venezuelan illegal immigrants are accused of killing a young Air Force cadet in a jet ski incident. And this continued killing, this this may be why the Trump administration is reportedly very frustrated with the pace of deportations. Right now, it's about 1,000 ICE arrests per day, but that target number was just upped to 3,000 per day. So given the challenges that ICE is facing regarding potential lack of resources and also sanctuary cities, do you think that target number, 3,000, is achievable?
Yes, I do, and I think the way it's achievable, one, they're cracking down on these sanctuary cities, and unfortunately for some of them, they're going to be made examples of for things like alien harboring and things like that, criminal investigations. But once they can crack down on those and get more of them in line, it'll make it easier to deport people. They're also enlisting the help of local law enforcement under the 287G program to be basically a force multiplier so they can arrest and deport more people. And this, the big, beautiful bill, as they call it, coming up, has approximately, I think it's about $140 billion for ICE and CBP. So the resources are coming just for them. So I think it's achievable. And remember, under the Biden administration, they were sometimes bringing in 10 and 12,000 people a day, and they had no regard for public safety, no regard for vetting any of these people. So the Trump administration is just simply trying to get the most dangerous people out of here, putting public safety first. But yes, it's achievable. I think they'll get there, and they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and there was some leadership changes at the top of ICE that we learned about yesterday that were just made. So clearly that 3,000 number is a focus and a target for the Trump administration right now. Jonathan, thanks for joining us.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian.
All right, so it sounds like they're actually going to get some justice there. Like they were talking about that 17-year-old who was racing a car, killed that young woman, originally was sentenced with probation and community service. Now the Trump admin is going to be deporting him and his parents, which is good stuff. They also talk about in this video and the last video about how they're supposedly arresting 3,000 border crossers a day, which is pretty good, but that equals to just over 1 million people a year. If that number never goes below 3,000 every single day of the year. And of course, after 4 years, that's only 4 million. That is a long way away from 25 million illegals that came in during the last 4 years. So we got to get bigger numbers. 3,000 a day is not enough. We need even more in order to get the 25 million illegals out of the country who came in under the Biden administration. And that's on top of how many illegals were already in the country. So either way, at least they're moving in the right direction. Like I said, that is the last little bit of the news, but we're moving into the fun stuff. We will be opening today's door of the Advent Calendar sent by Tori Wayne. We got 2 funny videos of the day. Like I said before, they're both provided by Stoner. First one's titled Professional Hole Service. That's a good one. And then our official funny video of the day is titled When You Don't Discipline Your Kids. All of that's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat and see what you hooligans think about ICE handing out accountability, as well as the Trump administration helping with that case where that 17-year-old was racing that car and somehow got probation and community service instead of being held for murder or, anything like that. So you don't have to worry about probation or any of that. He's getting deported either way. Also, I think I forgot to tell you guys, I had to go to the damn shop again today. Got my wheel bearing fixed and something else. Oh, and I got an oil change. It was $400. 400 doll hairs, and I had to sit there all day. I was there for like 4 hours. So that happened today. And yeah. So anyways, reading through the chat and we're getting into the fun stuff. Russell, no more fucks to give. That's right. SOS, absolutely. Racing and homicide. You're done. Locked up as an adult. This same case is nationwide. Yeah. Yep. The thing is like, I'm glad he's getting deported, but I feel like he should have to serve time and then get deported because he killed somebody and now he gets to just go off and do whatever. I mean, getting deported is, that's the goal here, but at the same time, he killed somebody and he gets to just leave. So I don't know. I think he should go to CCOT. Send him to Supermax. Sage Pup, if that was any of us, they would have put us in prison and thrown away the key. I guess you get special treatment if you're an illegal. Yep, you were absolutely right. Rappy, I'm doing all right. How are you doing today? Told Kara got to call the feelings police. Yeah, when News Nation is on. Total Care the jet ski incident was crazy too. Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder what's going to happen with that. They actually got that woman in custody. I think it's her and some guy. Her name was like Gonzalez or something like that. And hopefully they actually hold her accountable and don't just cut her loose because she's an illegal. What's up, Plastic Quack? Happy freedom to you. Meta, I don't think the hotline will work here in California because of Governor Newsom. I don't know. He could try and stand in the way, but it's a federal hotline. It's a Rue. Happy freedom to you. Thank you so much, Susan, for gifting a sub over on Twitch. You're awesome, Susan. Thank you so much. Agent O, did the bearing change the noise? No, the car still howls. I got to replace the transmission. I just can't afford to do that. And I'm trying to think. Yeah, I got to replace the transmission because the differential is bad. And in that car, the differential's inside of the transmission. So it still howls while it goes down the road, but the ABS light was on and my brakes were chattering. And they found out that my brakes were seized up because of the salt on the road and stuff. So they freed them up. They didn't charge me for that. But then they, like I said, they replaced the rear right wheel bearing because the ABS sensor couldn't read the bearings because there's a ring that goes over the bearings. And when the ring breaks, it's because the bearings are going bad. And so the ring had become broken. The ABS sensor couldn't read it anymore. So they did that. And then I hadn't had an oil change since like October. And so I needed to do that. But yeah, 400 doll hairs. I'm hearing a loud ass plane outside. I did not normally hear stuff like that. Not here. They're not dropping Chinese troops out of the sky, are they? Glad to hear it, Rappy. Alright, hooligans, we're going to move into the fun stuff. Can you hear it? It's loud. It's really loud. You hear that, Klaus Daniels? They're going to get us. Are you ready? Embrace for impact? Oh, you're tired. Oh, you're tired. You say you ain't worried about it? Mm-hmm. It'd be alright. It'd be alright. Anyways, moving into the fun stuff. Oh, actually, I got another reminder. Like I said, it's getting lower. I don't know. Love you, hooligans. If the plane falls right on me, you know how shit's been going lately. You know, I love you guys. Anyways, before we get into the fun stuff, like I said, we are going to be opening today's door of the Advent calendar sent to us by Tori Wayne, and we got our 2 funny videos of the day. But before we get into this, I want to remind you guys, if you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use the links in the description in order to send donations. You can do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Zelle, Venmo, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. Let's see what we got. I don't have a spoon here. I might have to grab one so we could try some hot sauce, but let's see what we get today. I think today is day 18, I believe. Yeah. What did we get today? This is Classic Chili Charm. Interesting. Weird. It's got like a really red color. There we go. Look at that. Super red. This is that Classic Chili Charm. I wonder how charming it is. We'll try it here in a second. Thank you so much, Tori Wayne. All right, moving into our funny videos. And like I said, I'm going to try and grab a spoon while this is rolling. Both these funny videos today were provided by Stoner. And this one cracks me up. All right. This one is titled Professional Hole Service.
You have a hole that needs to be filled? The city of Kenosha takes public safety very seriously, which is why we're excited to launch our new Show Us Your Hole public safety initiative. To participate, simply send us a picture of your hole, along with its location and the tagline, "Come fill my hole," and we will dispatch our crews to service your hole in a prompt and professional manner. Your satisfaction is our priority. You have a hole that
Hashtag show us your hole. I don't know. I think they knew what they were doing. Either way, moving into this next one. Let's get this pulled up. This one is hardcore. This is titled, When You Don't Discipline Your Kids.
Hey, let's play cops. Yeah. Bang, bang. What? You ain't going nowhere, Robert. Aw, that's so cute. I guess you guys like your new police hats, huh?
Man, put the camera away.
Fuck you, pig. I have my rights. Get the fucking camera out of my face. I have your badge numbers. I'm recording this. I'm gonna put this on YouTube.
Well then. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. I'm grab this Linktree link really quick. We're going to try some hot sauce. We're going to read through. We got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up next. We will also be doing a raid over on Rumble, so we got to figure out who we're going to raid and how long they've been live, because we've had a couple duds when it comes to the raids. I don't know. I want to keep doing it, but some people kind of suck. It's a blonde beard. Happy freedom to you. Alright, hooligans, there is the Linktree link where all of my links are listed. So if you would like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday, because we got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7, and we have 2 news boards to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience the live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. You can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there while watching the live. You will also have access to Hooligans Alley, which is our private social media area. You'll have access to the forums, you'll have access to the arcade, and you will also have access to our advanced messaging system. And because today is Friday, right after the live, we're going to be doing the voice chat, and if you get yourself a membership, you could join us for that too. Either way, go join jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. Alright, we're going to try some hot sauce, then we're going to attempt to read through the chat a little bit, and then we got the Pledge of Allegiance coming up. And we're going to do it in that order, so it's nice and difficult. Let's see how this goes. Where's the spoon? Doing the thing. I'm going to have to put plastic spoons on my wish list going through this hot sauce here. I don't know what this could be like. The stuff we pulled yesterday was habanero sauce. This is something else. It's got an interesting orange color to it. This is classic chili charm. All right, no, this is going to hurt me. Look at it. Look how orange it is. Cheers, hooligans. Holy shit. Oh, that is the hottest shit I've ever ate on the live. Holy shit. It is like, oh my God. It's like sweet chili sauce for like a half a second. Like about as long as old man Walter's brain works. But then it just hurts you so bad. It's like drinking paint thinner. That shit is fucking burning me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy shit. Who? Klaus Daniels, don't run away. Save me. Jesus loves us all. That is so hot. I can't make it cool off. This is the hottest shit ever. The Dr. Pepper ain't touching it. Not at all. Oh my Jesus. Who? That is going to hurt coming out. Oh my God. It's hot. That is hot. It's hurt. I can feel it in my chest. Oh my God. I'm going to have a medical emergency. I need to call Life Alert. Get one of those necklaces with the buttons. I need that. Holy shit. I'm going to need Neuralink after this. This is shutting me down. Anyways. We're going to try and read through the chat. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. And then we're going to try and do the Pledge of Allegiance. That one was the hottest fucking thing I've eaten in a very long time. My tongue aches. My breath is hot. Okay, I need a little bit more Dr. Pepper and we're going to move forward here. We're going to try. It lied to me. It is not charming. That is not charming at all. It hurt me. That should be called Democrat sauce, because that shit was just out to get me. It was touching me like I was a little kid, and that was old man Walter, and I don't like it. Anyways, moving through the chat here. We're going to try and do the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we're going to try and figure out how to raid somebody. I don't know. We got to keep moving. I'm sweating. I got the sweats. Holy. Tory Wayne, maybe throw it out with a warning for any homeless who may try to get it. I don't know. It's so hot it would make illegals deport themselves. It is so hot. So hot. 10 man, yeah. So hot. Yes. Who? Russell, he just shit out his intestines. I'm going to later. I'm going to cry when this is coming out. I'm gonna share a selfie with you guys. Who? It is so hot. Yeah, here, Juicer, we got the voice chat coming up a little bit right after the live. I'm going to need to put this fire out first. I know that. Ooh, Russell, did it give you a reach around? Yeah, and it stuck me right in the eyes. That's what it did. It gave me a reach around, didn't grab the funny parts. No, just bam, right in the eyeballs. Let me have it. Ooh, what is your name? Brigier? Milk and bread might help. See, and I don't have either of those things. I don't eat bread or milk. Ooh, doing life the hard way. Ooh, it's so hot. It's so hot. Prop Gully, that's what she said. You're not wrong. Oh my God. Prop Gully, anyone showing the ice roundup? Is there one happening live right now? Ooh, it's so hot. My tongue is aching. Rappy, sweet baby Klaus. Yeah, he is the sweet baby Klaus. My feed, coffee. That's a good idea. I'm going to make coffee right after this. Ooh, my lips are burning. Ooh, happy freedom to you, my feed. Toilet care flames out of every orifice. Yeah, I feel like I'm about to self-destruct. Like, what is that called? Spontaneous combustion. Ain't gonna be that damn spontaneous, but it's happening. Meta, go get real wasabi and snort it. No, I can't. I took that spoonful that Captain Seamus, something's in my eye, that Captain Seamus had given me, and that stuff is hot too, but this is like the hottest shit I've ever eaten on the live. Who? Rue. Oh, Bridgie. Oh, I see. Well, happy freedom to you, Bridgie. Susan. I can't even talk. There's no reason to feel bad. I made my own choice here. It's hot. Cooper, grab a tortilla. I ain't even got no tortillas. I buy all that stuff as I'm eating food because I can't trust food. All right. It's that time once again, hooligans. Tory Wayne, do not snort wasabi. Bad advice. Oh, Lord, this is why women live longer than men. I guess. I guess. Either way, hooligans, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, it's hot. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I am hot and cold at the same time. Klaus Daniels, come here. Come here. I'll get you. I went to grab his tail. He whipped it away and meowed at me. Unhand me, you heathen. Yes, I understand. All right, hooligans, we're going to figure out who we're going to raid here, and then we're wrapping this up. Oh, Mike T, happy freedom to you. Hot lip hooligan. Yep, that's right. Oh, it's so hot. Okay, let's figure out who we're raiding today. Let's try and find somebody grateful. Let's try and find that. What are you doing? I ain't kicked the bucket yet. You can't just do whatever you want. Jesus loves us. It's so hot. It's like just sitting there right in my chest. Who is live? Curiosities and mysteries. Let me see. Let's see. Is his chat dead? Well, Let's see what this guy's up to. His chat is completely dead. I got questions because there's 70 people watching him. So why does his chat look like that? What is he talking about? Let's listen to what he's talking about.
Died in a he was the Golden Knights parachutist and died in a demonstration.
I don't know. He's been live for almost 3 hours. Let's find somebody else. How's he been live for 3 hours? He's got 70 people. Ain't nobody in the chat. Something ain't right. Oh, it's so hot. Oh, it's so hot. Ooh, these people are onto something. The Don't Unfriend Me show. And they got a woman with them. And they just started this live. These guys might be it. They might be it. All right. I'm thinking so. Thank you, Pumpkin. You're the bestest. All right, Hooligans. We're going to do this raid. We're wrapping this up. All right. Let's see how it goes.
An indicative of something. It has to be tied to possibly a credit.
It's another one saying 1.2 trillion cash on hand is what it's saying.
No, but it's impossible. Liv, look at me. It's impossible. What you're saying is cash in circulation is tied to some form of monetary value. There's no gold, there's no silver, there's no oil, there's no petrodollar. It's assigned to credit. So let me ask you a question before you answer that.
Okay.
Let's say we get $35,000 on a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean we have $35,000?
No.
Then why can we say the government has $1.2 trillion in cash? Because we're $37 trillion in debt.
Good point.
So they don't have that money. The operating cash that the United States has is based upon some sort of commodity. Right, like Fort Knox. So it used to be our money used to be tied to the gold and the silver certificate. Then it moved. And then it was assigned to the petrodollar. Now it's assigned to what? The credit card?
I don't know if they're reading their chat or not. There's people in the chat that are responding to the raid, but these people are not.
Defaulted on our loan. Our credit rating would go south and we would cease to exist because we would no longer have cash on hand to operate the government. But that means everything. It's not just stopping paychecks for veterans or military personnel or closing state parks. We're talking everything from power and energy to water to natural gas, any type of government regulated systems like trains.
All right, well, it does not seem like they are paying attention to the chat. I don't know. I really thought there was more people like me out there who actually read the damn chat, but you know what? This whole rating thing has really opened my eyes to, people don't actually read the chat. I don't know why. I think live streaming would suck without reading the chat. Oh well. Anyways, we're going to read through really quick and we're wrapping her up. What's up, Zero? Happy freedom. Tori Wayne, another dud. I know. I don't know. It was good for a minute there, but now the raids are flopping. I don't know why that is, though. Meta's as hot as Snooks? It is. It's real hot. If it was any hotter, I'd have been in trouble. I don't know who these people are. Agent O, you think it's pre-recorded? It could be. Hey, thank you for being here, Wayward. All right, Hooligans, we're going to wrap this up, but we will be live again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Tomorrow is Free Speech Saturday, so that means no YouTube, no Twitch tomorrow. So make sure to use the Linktree link in the description of YouTube or Twitch. That way you can make your way to a better platform. We will be live on Kick, Rumble, jeffmaclive.com, as well as X. So remember that, because tomorrow is Free Speech Saturday. Thank you, Hooligans, so much for helping me cover the news, helping me make the news suck less, and enjoying some hot sauce with me. I really appreciate all of you guys. Go find some good food. I'm going to try and do the same, and enjoy the rest of your day. But make your way back to us tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time for the very next Coffee with Hooligans. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations. joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans, and I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.